Hey there, welcome to episode 28 of Poolside Sales Chat. This is Bernie Borges, executive producer of Social Business Engine and host of the Social Business Engine podcast. Hey, this is my weekly Poolside Sales Chat where I've got animals walking around, so anything can happen while I'm recording this, but today I am here to talk about a very specific topic around why and how to share your message on LinkedIn. And this is inspired by this book right here that I've talked about before, and that is Social Networking in the 21st Century by my friend David J.P. Fisher. I want you to know that you can download a PDF version of this book at our website at Social Business Engine. Just go to the podcast at socialbusinessengine.com. It's episode 143. So in this book, I'm specifically tackling what David talks about in chapter 5, and that is why share your message on LinkedIn. And first and foremost, it's really about building your professional brand. It's about building your network to create business outcomes that you want to achieve. So it's about being consistent. So if you're a chiropractor, you want to be talking about things that are relevant to the chiropractic industry. If you're an accountant, you want to be talking about things that are relevant to accountants. If you're in B2B sales, selling enterprise software, then that's what you want to be talking about. You want to be consistent. You want to be building your professional brand around that content. So secondly, let's talk about the fact that when you're sharing content, you want to be mindful that it's easy to make mistakes. And if you make a mistake on the content that you share, like typos and bad grammar, that can reflect poorly on your professional brand. So I want to encourage you to put a little extra effort into spell check and good grammar, and just make sure that when you click publish or you click post on the status update, that it's clean and it reflects really well on your professional brand. Now, there's 9 categories of status updates on LinkedIn that David talks about in this book. I want to touch on just a few of them, not all 9. We get into it in our webcast, which is also available on socialbusinessengine.com, and we touch on them in the podcast, which is also over there at socialbusinessengine.com. But I'm going to touch on 3 of them. These are my 3 favorite. These are the categories of LinkedIn status updates that you can be thinking about, so you really don't have to wrestle with what should I post on LinkedIn. So one category is around events, whether it's a local event or not a local event. If you have events that are coming up, you can publish content and write status updates on what you're planning to do. What's that event about? You can have a link to the website of that event. As the event's drawing closer, maybe you can highlight some of the speakers. Maybe you can even showcase some of the people that you know within your industry that are going to be at that event, and you can just give them shout outs. During the event, if it's a 1-hour event or a 2-day event, whatever it is, you can be posting content from that event on LinkedIn. I'm not talking Facebook here. Nothing against Facebook, but you can be sharing links to articles that speakers are sharing, or after the event, you can write your own article, your own blog post about the event, what you learned at that event, who you met at that event. Not that you necessarily want to disclose everybody you met at that event, but maybe showcase a few people that were interesting that you learned from, that by sharing that with your network, that's really relevant and useful to them. So events is one category of status updates that I really like. The other one is sharing business successes. Now, it's great if they're your successes and successes that you've driven for your clients. Those are the best kind of success stories to share. Whether or not you share your client's name, that's up to you. If you do, you might want to get their permission. But it's not about necessarily sharing their name. Again, not a bad thing, but get their permission first. It's more about telling the story of the success so you can share with your network how you help others, and also share the outcome so that people in your network can learn from that. That's valuable stuff to your network. The third category out of the 9 that are in this book is the idea of making recommendations, but not just recommending people. That's a different topic altogether. I'm talking about recommending either people that you've done business with because they've done something really good recently, or recommending a company, a supplier, a vendor that you've done business with. If you had a really good experience with a vendor, give them a recommendation. that's valuable to them and it can be valuable to your network. Now, I also want to talk about how you can upload photos in status updates. This is something that I see people do. I do it a lot, but it's kind of almost like a little hidden secret. So instead of a status update where you copy and paste a link to an article and then let LinkedIn select the image and display that image, instead of doing that, click the little photo icon in the status update field. Upload your own image, whatever that image is. It should be relevant to the article. And then copy and paste a link to an article and then say what you want to say. Or you don't have to copy and paste a link to an article. Say what you want to say about what's relevant in that image and post that as a status update. So a simple example might be back to the event. You share an article about that event or even your own blog post about that event. You have a link to your blog post about that event, but you upload an image from the event. Now that image is going to take up more real estate in the news feed. So normally when you post a status update with a LinkedIn article, it takes up about that much real estate. But when you post an image, it takes up about that much real estate. So it's bigger in the news feed and it's simply more noticeable. If you do that often enough, you really start to get on the radar of the people that are in your network and you'll get more engagement that way and get more people following you. Now, let's also talk about publishing articles on LinkedIn. Now, this is an interesting topic. Not everybody likes to write. I like to write. I have published 52 articles on LinkedIn. And the biggest impact that it's had for me is that I've grown my follower count. Yes, I mean followers, not connections, because people can follow you. You know, you can follow anyone you want on LinkedIn. So I've grown my follower count to 4,000 people. The funny thing is the last time I checked, it was 3,000. So I gained 1,000 followers within just a few months by practicing all the things that I'm sharing with you here today. So if you publish content, that's a great way to grow your followers. And growing your followers on LinkedIn is a great way to build your network and build more relationships. Now, how do you measure the impact of all this stuff? How do you know that it's having an impact on your business and your career? Well, on your LinkedIn profile, you can see who's engaged with you. You can look to see what industries they're in, what their seniority levels are, and even their geolocations. So you can see if you're connecting with, if you're reaching the people you want to reach within your industry in terms of seniority levels as well, and also geographically as well. So there you have it, quick tips on the why and the how of engaging and sharing your message through LinkedIn, and hopefully some best practices and some tips on how to do it frequently and consistently, because really the consistency is the most important thing, is to be doing this on a regular basis, not once a month, not once a quarter, but daily. And it just takes a little bit of, habitual practice for it to become a habit. I always say it's not a habit until it's a habit. Is that profound or what? Anyway, that's going to do it for episode 28 of Poolside Sales Chat. Hey, you can get a free PDF copy of this book right here, Social Networking in the 21st Century. Just go to socialbusinessengine.com, go to podcast episode 143, and you can get a PDF version for free. Just download it right there. And hey, if you like this podcast episode and you think it's useful, actually that's my podcast. If you like this Poolside Sales Chat video, share it with your boss, share it with your friends. Just click the share button. If you like it, click the little like button down there. And hey, while you're there, subscribe to my channel so you get notified every time I publish a new episode, which is once a week. So hey, that's going to do it. This is Bernie Borges, executive producer of Social Business Engine. I wish you Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. If you're watching this in 2017, I hope that you're off to a great year. And until next time, I wish you continued sunshine. See ya.